The generation that can't read. Hey kids, it is really important to know how to read, okay? Knowledge is very important, kids. You're gonna learn the ABCs from me, especially Gen Zs, bro. Come on, like, you have to learn how to read, bro. Reading is very important, okay? Because what if someone manipulate you into thinking that this is the right thing, meanwhile you don't have that knowledge?
For me growing up, education was one of the most important things. My parents would always push me to get the best grades I could. You can't get a job or be taken serious without a certain level of education. But now, an alarming number of people can't read. I know you might be looking at me like I sound crazy, but yes, there are people out there who are way below the reading level that they should be at. Look, I'm not the greatest reader ever. Honestly, part of this video is low-key targeted at me. If you were to tell me to read independently...
Look, I'm not gonna lie, I can read, but like, I'm not the greatest reader ever. But like, I can take informations, okay, and understand them.
To read independently for 15 minutes, there's no way I'd be 100% focused. This has definitely been a problem for kids in Gen Z and Gen Alpha, but it only seems to be getting worse. There's some kids that are below reading level, some kids that can't even read at all, and there's some adults that don't have proficient reading skills. And this was happening before Gen Z and Gen Alpha, of course, but the problem's only gotten worse. And recently, I've been seeing a lot of videos.
Yo, as long as you know how to read, how to spell, okay, how to get informations, okay, you good, bro. Okay, you don't have to be the perfect like reader ever, okay, not like robot way, but like just read.
Talking about this problem, like so I figured I'd make a video about it. The first video talks about how 40% of fourth graders fall into this category where they are below basic reading skills that they need for their grade level.
Fourth grader asked their teacher, why do I need to learn how to read if AI can read for me? Right now, 40% of fourth graders can't read.
That is very sad, honestly. If you want ChatGPT to read everything for you, like, come on, what are you doing? Like, work on yourself. You know how good it feels for you to able to do everything by yourself? You are like that as a human being. Let me screenshot this picture. Let me screenshot for my future edits. Okay, I might use this image for this video edit.
Then is actually insane. They're not even to know how to read the response that ChatGPT's giving to them. I saw this comment on this video, and honestly, it's really true. We used to flex being at a higher reading level. When I was in school, they had this thing to try to fix the problem where basically they would put you in different groups based on your reading level. The groups were circle, triangle, and square. Now, square was above, triangle was on reading level, and circle was below. I'm confessing this under zero pressure, by the way. I was in the circle group, and I would get clowned for it sometimes too. But you know what, man? It is what it is. At least I was trying to learn how to read. I remember people would flex the fact that they were in the square group. And I actually talked to my teacher because I wanted to improve my reading.
And you know what's crazy? Majority of people who made fun of him, okay, don't even know how to read.
Skills and move up a group. So she gave me a bunch of reading packets to practice. And eventually, I went up a reading level. And to third grade me, this was the best day of my life. But the point of this stupid ass anecdote was, if people adopt this mindset of, wow, why do I even need to read when I have ChatGPT? It's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
English teacher here. I have kids constantly asking me, how do I spell window?
W-I-N-D-O,
how do I spell important? How do I spell though? And they be serious. They're dead serious.
Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a teacher nowadays. I used to have spelling tests, so I'd have to remember how to spell words like window, important at like 7 years old. I'm not saying that reading and spelling has to be like everybody's strong point. You don't have to be that one kid participating in your school for the spelling bee. But
Yo, chat, I'm not gonna lie. My childhood is very different from these people, okay? You know, when I learned my ABCs, I think I was 11 years old, bro. And I was in 4th grade in 11, okay? And I jumped. Yo, my childhood is different, bro.
You should know by the time you get to that age. And I'm not the greatest speller either. Sometimes I make spelling mistakes in my videos. I mean, that's probably just me being an idiot and not checking it over. Or sometimes I just rely on...
Nah, me too. I be making mistakes though. It's not in a way like I don't know how to spell, but it's like I be quick with the video edits, you know?
I could ask them, who's the main character of your story? The story of 4-paragraph story we just read. Can't tell you.
And those people who choose not to make improvements to their spelling or reading skills at all in any capacity end up in the position where they're an adult and they can't read at all. Now,
yo, chat, I'm not gonna lie. I want to improve my knowledge though. I'm always the type of person who want to improve my knowledge. Yo, I feel like I want to do a lot of things, bro.
Some adults didn't have the opportunity to receive a good education when they were growing up, but sometimes, man, people just aren't trying. An example of an adult who can't read is Floyd Mayweather. He's been clowned for years for not being able to read properly.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give...
Yo, 50 Cent, calm down. Yo, what's up with this beef, bro? What's up with this beef? I really want to know, what is this beef about? If you can read a Harry Potter book, whatever.
750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want.
Now, speaking of reading on the internet, you all know where I'm going with this. There's certain cases where people turned on the cameras and just started reading. Specifically, Kai Cenat and Rakai. Now, we all know the story with Kai Cenat at this point. He's trying to improve his speaking skills by reading out loud on camera. And I guess Rakai was following in his footsteps. And for both of these cases, the internet did not need to see this, dog. Both of them should have just did this off the internet.
But it can all spark to make a strong artwork. That's how I would define the sneaker equation. I would say these sneakers have gone through.
Like, this dude is getting fried bad. Like, people are saying he's having a heated conversation with the book. He's yelling at the book. He's giving the...
Yo, why he's reading like that? That's what I'm wondering. Why he's yelling at the book like that? What did the book do to you? Just calm down and read. Like, your chat can hear you. They have better mic than me, bro. Like, read slowly, calm down, okay?
Book a motivational speech. I mean, hey, I'll give them props for at least trying to develop better reading skills. But in my opinion, they should have just did this in their own time. I don't think, me personally, I would broadcast myself to millions of people reading. I didn't really like popcorn reading in class to begin with. So reading in front of millions of people, oh, I would definitely choke. And everybody would be frying me. And some people that are frying Kai and Rakai, they're just lying, bro. They're not exactly the greatest readers either. There was a video I saw on TikTok of this streamer who brought in his chat that was making fun of Kai Cenat to read the same book that he was to see if they actually had good reading skills. And these dudes that got on the call, they couldn't even read it themselves without stuttering.
Do you think you could read better than Kai Cenat, bro? Just the book, just the exact book.
Bro, you see, people who make fun of Kai Cenat and Rakai, bro, for reading like that, they're the one who don't know how to read.
The backbone of every habit, and your brain runs through these steps in the same order each time. First, there's the cue. The cue triggers your brain to entitate a behavior.
Yeah, get the fuck out of my... What's up?
I mispronounce shit in my videos all the time. I stutter. I can't sit there and cook Kai Cenat for stuttering. And for the second half of the video, I want to answer, why is this? Why are people now not able to read at the expected level they should be? The first thing I want to bring up is a lot of people don't read in their free time. Whenever I read something, it's usually for college. I can't even remember the last time I read a book outside of college. You know what, bro? It might be time for me to cop Atomic Habits.
You know, the last time I read a book, I'm not gonna lie, it was a month ago. I was bored, I don't know what to do, and I read a book. Okay. And of course, I was channeling my countries from each continent.
The fact that I was stuck reading books I didn't like for school assignments only made me hate reading more. Now, me personally, I just didn't like Of Mice and Men, To Kill a Mockingbird, or whatever else I had to read. So when it was time for me to read, I wasn't exactly jumping for joy. Now, in school, I get it. You gotta be forced to read because how else are you gonna sharpen your reading skills? When it comes time for me to graduate college, if my lazy ass doesn't pick up a book, my reading skills are definitely gonna fall off. And that brings me to my next point. Some people aren't encouraged to read outside of school. When I was growing up, my parents were like, yo, you gotta pick up a book, read something. I don't care what it is. So at certain points throughout the day, my parents would want me to sit down and just read for an hour. And they especially wanted me to read during the summer because we had these reading logs we had to fill out and my parents had to sign them. And at the beginning of the school year, we'd have to give them to the school. But some people now are probably just using ChatGPT to summarize the book and write them entire essays about it. Now, I'm not saying that AI, technology, social media, or any of that is bad, but it's just a double-edged sword. Because let's just say you used AI all throughout K to 12, your entire school career. You wouldn't even know anything. You wouldn't know how to read, write, do math, any of that. You'd have to summon ChatGPT to do the most basic things for you. And of course, since people...
And you know, I'm not gonna lie, it feels so good to know something. Imagine you go outside and then someone tell you, like, whatever, what is this? And then you're like, oh, let me pull up my ChatGPT. Like, bro, it is very good to know, like, everything that you know. Like, it makes you feel good. Like, You know?
People are consuming a lot of information online, and it's really fast-paced information, and you can just endlessly scroll. That's obviously going to lead to people having a shorter attention span. Now, I feel like this is the part that's fucking up my reading skills the most. When I pick up a book, time does not fly, bro. It feels like the minutes are ticking by so slow. I'm just bored, and I'm used to consuming all this information on TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is. And I'm seeing videos pop up on my phone.
So it makes everything slow, you know, when you read a book, because it's been a long time you didn't read a book. One day, sit down, try to read 1 page a day, or at least like 1 paragraph on that page. You know how some people, they know that this is boring, right? But like, don't make it boring. Like, think of a way, like, for example, like, what happened if I read, like, you know, would I earn superpowers or whatever? Like, you know, I don't know. Think of it in a way like that makes YouTube, if you're watching this, please subscribe, okay? I really appreciate it. Thank you.